and magnify the presence of God. As I gather with others in the spirit of love and peace, my awareness of God's presence becomes more powerful, even palpable. Together we create an energy of vibration greater than any of us has alone. I am comfortable and at ease when I notice our differing appearances, preferences, backgrounds, and opinions, because I am reminded of the limitless diversity of divine expression and my place in it. When I join in fellowship with my family, friends, and all others who are dear to me, each of us becomes a mirror for the others. We see in one another the divine presence that lives in and expresses as every person. The unifying energy of divine love unites us and binds us together. In this love, we are one. And now, speaking today's wonderful talk is a leader, teacher, minister. She is speaking on Be Aware of God's Beauty. Let's welcome Reverend Mary Ann Kelley.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. How's everyone this morning? Everyone looks just so beautiful. So springy. Well, I remembered to bring my little tacky finger stuff, so the pages. Be aware of God's beauty. It was taken back to the creation narrative for this one, and I thought, yeah, that would be perfect for this. So I'm thinking, God said, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was without form and void, and the darkness was on the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters. What this says is there was nothing there except consciousness. There was spirit. There was essence. And we call that God because we don't have another name for it.
Yeah.
So, and this God, this essence, recognized itself and said, what can I do? Recognizing that I am something. What can I do? What can I do? I can create. And so, this God said, let there be light. Light is enlightenment. Help me to know. Help me to know what is. And there was light. And so this creation, this creationist, recognized itself as being able to create because it was illumined. And so God saw that the light was good. And God divided the light from the darkness. And God called the light day, which is the objective mind, ruled by the sun. And the darkness he called night, which is the subconscious mind, ruled and reflected by the moon, the light of the moon. And the light of the moon is reflected as a reflection of the sun. So you see it all comes together here. So the evening and the morning were the first day. Now remember, we don't know how long the first day was. It could have been a day, like we know today, although probably not, because there was no time at that time. So it could have been aeons. Could have been forever. But God said, that was the first day. Now God said, let there be firmament, which is faith in the mind, ruled by the reflected light of the moon. No, wait a minute. Objective mind ruled that, the day. And he called wait a minute, and that was good. Divided the, wait a minute. And God saw the light, and it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness. And God called the light day, the objective mind ruled by the sun. And the darkness he called night, which was a subjective mind ruled by the reflected light of the moon, which was the reflected light of the sun. You see, it's all together. And do you see that this is kind of a story of ourself and how we become aware? And God said, let there be firmament. That's faith in the mind of power, faith in the mind power. A firm, unwavering place in consciousness. That's what that is. In the midst of the water. So there was the firmament in the midst of the water. And the water is that cleansing mental potentiality, and in some cases, life and vital energy. So let it divide the waters from the waters. Now what does this mean? Waters from the waters. Well, you know we have many different kinds of waters. We have waters from the sky. We have lakes and rivers. And we have the seas, the oceans. So divide the waters from the waters. So we're going to have some separation in all of these. But remember, these are cleansing, mental potentiality, and in some cases, life and vital energy. So there we go. And okay, so in this passage, where you let the waters divide from the waters, in that passage, it represents an unexpressed possibilities of mind. Unexpressed possibilities, lots of possibilities of mind. There must be a firm starting point. We have to start a firm starting point established, and the point or firmament is the faith moving on the unformed capacities of spirit or spiritual consciousness. So you see, there's no limit. It continues on and on and on. Thus God made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament, and also around the firmament. And it was so. It was so. And God called the firmament heaven, so that the evening and the morning were the second day. Then God said, let the waters under the heavens, sky, rain, be gathered into one place, the seas, and let the dry land appear, and it was so. And God called the dry land earth, which is the fertile soil of our mind, our conscious mind and our subconscious mind, the fertile soil. And gathered together of the waters he called the seas. And God saw it was good. And then God said, let the earth bring forth grass, and the herb that yields seeds, ideas. Seeds, ideas. And according to its kind. In other words, it brought forth the grass came first, then it made its seeds, the ideas. So the nourishment is here, and then comes the ideas, and that's what we get. And so, according to its kind, it yield, and the trees that yield fruit, whose seed is in itself, according to its sign, its kind. And God saw that was good. And so that was the evening and the morning of the third day. So you see how it's coming together? Our minds are coming together. This is the story of our spiritual birth. And God said, let there be light in the firmament of the heavens to divide the day from the night, and let them be the sign of the seasons for the days and the years. And let them be for the light in the firmament of the heavens to give light on earth. Enlightenment on earth. In our mind all the time. You see how he keeps coming back to the enlightenment. Enlightenment, the ideas. And then the ideas of the being planted for us, for our nourishment too. And let there be signs and seasons for days and years, and let them be lights in the firmament of the heavens to give light on earth. And it was so. Then God made two great lights, a greater light to rule the day, a beautiful sun, and these are God's enlightenment, and the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night, which is the human intelligence, the reflection. The moon is a reflection of the sun, which is a reflection to us, enlightenment to us. So we get enlightenment from both the divine and the reflection of the divine, which is our mind. So, and he made the stars also. God sent them in the firmament of the heaven to give light on earth. Yeah. And to rule and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God said it was good. It was good. And so the evening and the morning of the fourth day. And then God said, let the waters around abound with abundance of living creatures, and let the birds above fly above the earth. Now the birds represent lofty ideas, higher ideas. And the Native Americans call it the birds are the messengers to God and from God. So it fits right in with what we're seeing here in this reading. To fly above the earth, the lofty ideas, and across the face of the firmament of the heavens. So God created the great creatures, great sea creatures. Now sea creature, deep ideas of multiplication. So we can continue to multiply, not only physically, but also emotionally and spiritually. We continue to grow and to multiply. Good ideas. Of every living thing that moves, which the water abounded according to their kind, and every winged bird according to its kind. And God saw it was good. And God blessed them, saying, be fruitful and multiply. He says that a lot in Genesis. Be fruitful and multiply. And fill the waters in the sea, and the birds multiplied on earth. And so the evening and the morning of the fifth day. And God said, let us make man in our image. Notice our image. Does that mean there was more than one? I'm thinking the Father and the Holy Spirit. I think this is a thought of mine, of the human, how we can relate to this divine concept, to this divine consciousness. So let them, according to our likeness, let us make man in our image, according to our likeness. And let them, indicating more than one, have dominion over the fishes of the sea, and the birds in the air, and over the cattle, over the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth. And God created man in his own image. In the image of God he created him. Now, in the first part, he created them. And in the second part, he's saying he created him male and female. He created them, getting back to them. So it sounds like they were created at the same time. Or in Greek mythology, what they had was the creation of humanity was first. We were created both male and female. And every once in a while that still comes around, every once in a while. And again, the Native Americans considered such a person with both genders as a very holy person, as a whole person. So, but in any case, and in Greek mythology, they were split at some point in time. And then that's why we start wandering around for our soulmate. That's the idea. But anyway, that's another thing. That's not part of this. So God created him in his own image. The image of God he created him. Male and female he created him. And God blessed them and said to them, be fruitful and multiply. Fill the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fishes of the sea, and over the birds of the air, and every living thing that moves on the earth. In other words, control your ideas. We have dominion over our ideas, over our creative capacity. And God said, I have given you every herb that yields seeds, which is on the face of the earth, and every tree whose fruit yields the seeds, and these shall be your food. And every beast of the earth, and every bird of the sea, and everything that creeps on the earth, in which there is life, I have given every green herb and food. And it was so. So God feeds, Spirit within us feeds all of the ideas that we have. And all of everything that we are. And God saw that everything he made, and indeed it was good. So that was the evening and the morning of the sixth day. And we know on the seventh day, God rested. And so, we do too. We understand from that it's important to have a balance in life. And understand to nourish our creative thoughts, our creative ideas, to nourish them as they nourish us. You see how that works? Okay. And so, that being so, I have some vital facts for you. Drink water from the spring where the horses drink. The horses never drink bad water. So we can learn. Lay your bed where the cat sleeps, because that's where it's warm. Eat fruit that has been touched by a worm, because you know that's good fruit. Don't eat the worm though. Well, you could if you want. Boldly pick mushrooms where insects sit. Insects will not go through to poisonous foods. That's how you can tell. Plant a tree where the mole digs, because that's fertile ground. Build your house where the snake sits to warm itself, because that's where you're going to get the warmth of the sun. Yeah. Dig your fountain where the birds hide from the heat, because that's where the water is. That's where the coolness is. Go to sleep and wake up at the same time that the birds do. And you will reap all of the golden day grains. All the golden grains. You also get the early bird gets the worm too, if you're into worms. So eat more green and you'll have strong legs and a resistant heart, and like the beams of the forest. Swim often and you'll feel on earth like the fish in the water. Look at the sky as often as possible, and your thoughts will become light and clear. Light and clear. Be quiet. Speak little. The silence will come into your heart, and your spirit will be calm and full of peace. So nature is talking to us. Are we listening? So I found this on the internet. When I look back over my life, and it has not always been an easy road. It's funny how with age I seem to slowly forget the difficult times. And the good times become sweeter and sweeter. Have you found that to be true? Mm-hmm. I'm certainly not complaining, but sometimes I wonder what that is. At the time of trauma, that misgivings of others seems to unforgettable. Unforgivable. Today, nothing seems unforgivable, and that's true. What a peaceful and graceful world we live in. And it can be if we see nothing as unforgivable. And forgive. Do the forgiving. Thank you, wonderful God. And so I have one last thing for you. There were these three blonde men who were stranded on an island. Suddenly a fairy appeared and offered them each a wish. And so the first blonde asked for intelligence, and he was turned into a brown-haired man, and he swam off the island. The next one asked to be even more intelligent than that one, and he had dark hair, black hair. And there was a bridge that appeared, and he walked across that. And the final man asked for the same thing, but he wanted to be even more intelligent than the first two. He was turned into a woman, and he walked across the bridge. So there you go. That's about it. Okay. That's all I have today. Thank you so much. And know that you are created in the image and likeness of the divine, and we are of the divine. And that the divine resides within each of us. The ideas, the inspiration that we get comes from that part of ourselves. And so we create. Let us look at all around and see how beautiful our world truly is. Thank you.
All yours.
That was absolutely great. Huh? Thank you so very much.